Hello everyone, scrapping in my sleep here with you. Long time no see. I cannot believe it's taken me over a month and a half to get this project finished. But I can say I have touched everything in my craft room, every collection, every piece of paper, and I'm back to show you the finished result. It looks much better than it did before. I've gotten rid of, I still have a lot of stuff, but I've gotten rid of probably a third of maybe a half of what I had in here before. This room will now just be mostly scrapbooking. And then I have moved across the hall because when your kids grow and move out, like you can take over their space. So today I'm just going to show this room, and then tomorrow or another day I'll film. I still have a little bit of labeling to do over there, so I'm not quite finished with that one yet, but today we're going to walk through this section, which I'm very proud of and very happy to have done because I am itching to get scrapbooking again. It's been way too long. This corner houses my ribbons, my ephemera for general use, things that I've used all the paper and still have embellishments left. So I have summer, Easter, spring, Valentine's, travel, camping, and states, school, winter, and then fall, Halloween. And then I have my trims and my pastes, modeling pastes, and things like that at the bottom. So my drawers don't match because I've moved things around so many times in here that I just keep reusing them. I have my big Gemini here, and I have it on a rotating so I can just pull it out and turn it around. And then my plates and things here, all of my 49 in Market inks are here, and my Better Press inks, since that's where I'll use the Better Press, I will use in here. Anyway, this section cannot get pretty. Those are just things I need to scrapbook, and they drive me crazy, so I need to get them scrapbooked so that will look neater. Okay, and then all of my collections are now alphabetized from top to bottom, and then I have sections where I would just go, I'd be more likely to pull from a section instead of a manufacturer, and those are like the seasons, basically the same as what I have down here. I have sections for summer, Easter, spring, Valentine's, travel, camping, school, winter, fall, Halloween. And then I also have like weddings, birthdays. Those are in their own little section up here on my cabinets. And then everything else is by manufacturer. So those are alphabetical by manufacturer. And then I come over here and I have favorite designers. So my top shelf is all crepe paper, Maggie Holmes. And I have those actually labeled in date order and then the collection, so that I can just find them easily. So I'm not going to tell you how old my oldest thing was that I found during this craft room destash, but I will tell you that it was older than 2008. So my oldest collection of crepe paper was 2008. Crepe paper goes all the way down to here because, well, I love them and I bought them all. And then we have Heidi Swap, 49 in Market, Vicky Boutin, and what else is over here? I think that's pretty much it. So that fills this whole thing because, yes, I have a lot of them. And then when I showed you this last time, it was overflowing and really nasty. Now it's actually sorted and it makes me happy. I have hearts and circle embellishments like doilies and clocks and things like that on the top shelf. And then I have things to make little bottle cap flare in there. And these are hexagons and rainbows and things like that. And then I have all my tags and pockets, my flowers. All this is flowers, this whole section. And then I have trims down here that are like from kits I used to have, and so forth and so on down the list. So that is that. And then I'll turn this way, and I have my acrylics from several different designers here. What I have left of my Project Life cards, I don't reach for those super often, but I didn't want to get rid of them because I do still like them. And then my embossing folders here. These are all paper pads that at one point stood, you know, about as tall as me, but I'm not very tall. I have taken them all apart. I have removed every single bit of this little rubber binding stuff. I cannot stand this. So in every collection that I have in my room, I can throw that away now. In every collection I had, I took every piece of paper out and got rid of the front and the back paper and that little rubber plastic booger stuff. I don't know what it is, but I don't like it. And then I saved the front piece and just put it in so I know what the paper is in that folder, but I got rid of the back piece. And that actually saves a lot of space, just taking those off. And then, for example, in this paper pad, because in a paper pad, like, it's rare to like every paper in a collection, right? I don't think I'm the only one that's like that. Maybe I am. I don't know. Or if there's three, like there were 3 of each design of this paper, I don't need that many of each paper. So I took out what I thought I would use and the papers that I loved. And then I donated the rest to, oh goodness, I had, I think, 7 or 8 piles that I was starting for people. And that was a delight to be able to share that stuff and make them so happy, but also to get it out of here. So those are the paper pads that I have left. And any embellishments I've decided that do not specifically go with any collections that I have. For example, I've used it before and I used all the paper, but I still have some embellishments left. I'm going to put those in a certain spot. I already have them out in the hall, but they're not pretty, so I don't want them in this room. But that's what I'm going to use with those paper pads because they don't come with any embellishments. So, and that will be a fun project someday too, right? Just to pull out a paper pad and then make my own kit with leftover embellishments I have. On this cart, I have my Impress, which is on a turntable, and I love this thing. I can just turn it around and use it right at my desk. And in here, I have my small alphabets and labels, and they're all alphabetical order. My labels are in the front, and then all the rest are small alphabets. Down here on the second shelf, I have all my thickers, and they're also color-coded. Neutrals in the first one, pinks through greens, and then blues through purples and multicolor in that one. I have my stencils here, and then my leftover glues, my shimmers, sorry about that, are in here. And then I have a lot of tape dispensers because I have a fear of running out of them. Speaking of adhesive, I was showing my daughter this room makeover that's taken me so long, and I said, you know how people who lived in the Depression will, you know, stock up on black beans or whatever? Well, once upon a time I ran out of adhesive. That's really pathetic, but I will never run out again. Okay, so in my closet, which I could not even get close to before, I now have an adhesive storage. All of the stuff down here on the bottom is Vicki Boutin 49 in Market embellishments that went with these shelves over here that just wouldn't fit. They come with so many embellishments in those collections. And so I finished it over here. This is all Vicki Boutin. And then I have my punches and my cinch machine down there. So that is that. I have these carousels up here with my Distress Oxides and Distress Inks here and the minis. And then I have my punches here on these. These are fantastic. They store so many punches, so I do love those. And they're in here out of the way, but still very accessible. So I also have some Vicki Boutin things here. I like to just keep all of her things together. I'm kind of like that with all my collections. I like to keep whatever I'm gonna, I scrap by manufacturer a lot of times, so I just like to keep all that stuff together. These are my color drawers. I did this once upon a time and I don't love it. I wish I wouldn't have done it. So these also will be used with my paper pads. I really have a goal to just get these things used up. I do not like all of them just mixed together in there. That drives me crazy, but it's okay. All right, I do have, this is the same from before. I have a big magnet sheet behind my door of just general dies. The rest of my dies and stamps are in the other room. But I did want to take you around to my desk area because I'm super excited about my new chair. Because I am a shorty and my feet never touched the floor. So I have been looking for a chair. This is a cross-leg chair. And so far, I am loving it. Now, I haven't done any actual scrapbooking at it, but I've done a lot of organizing, and it's fantastic. If I get tired of that little thing on the bottom, I can just turn it around, and I can sit this direction and have my knees up here. It's looks a little wonky, and it takes up a lot of space under my desk, but it's worth it because I can sit without my back hurting now. So that's great. Not too many things on my desk. I really am trying to do better at that. It still looks cluttery to me, but these are things I actually use. So those are the things on my desk. And then I have just some, basic tools over here. My scoring tools and just note paper, my mini attacher there, tiny attacher, and then just some generic stuff in there. All of my simple stories things are under here. They've got a really big section too because I love simple stories. And then my wall of wonderful, if you watched my, I used to have over here behind these, but I kind of needed that wall space because I have way too much paper and I have a problem. So I moved. These used to be sitting horizontally, all of these shelves. And so I just flipped them up so that I could actually store my paper this direction. I like that better. And then with the drawers that used to be inside of those, I turned them sideways, glued them together, and now they are a shelf over here, which I thought was kind of brilliant, if I do say so myself. So all of my sprays, well, not all, a lot of my sprays are here in color coded, which I love. And then back here, I just have like my plates for my cutting machines. I have photo mats. I have my extra modeling paste and gesso and things like that that are just big and bulky and ugly. And then on the bottom, I have a whole bunch of like mini album starters kind of things. So that is that. And I think that is all. Now, I have this little tray if you want to look at this. I have my sewing machine on this little tray. Then if I don't use it often, but I like to have it just in case I want to use it. I have this little thing with my crocodile corner punch. Is that what it's called? That doesn't sound right. Corner punch? Anyway, some edgers, and then my mega date stamps from Heidi Swap. And then this is just filled with tools and more, like brushes and things like that. This is ink stuff. All of this is ink stuff. So I am going to be having a giveaway. There are 2 questions that I am putting out there for you. Let's see, what can you look at that's prettier than that? We deliver babies. Ugly sign up there that's falling out. I know, let's look at my new wall of wonderful. 2 questions. I will have 2 giveaways for $25 gift certificate to scrapbook.com for whoever can guess the closest to how many inches of paper that I got rid of during this purge. Whoever gets the closest to the inch will get a $25 gift certificate. And then the other question is, what was the oldest, not product, let's just go with the oldest paper that I found, because I have products that I've had since before I got married 26 years ago. So we're just going to do the oldest paper that I found. So the closest guess on those 2 things, and we will leave this open for, let's say, until, what is today, guys? The 21st. We're going to leave this open until June 7th. I don't even know what day of the week that is, but June 7th, comment below what your answer is. If the same person guesses both right, I'm going to just do one prize for them, and then I'll look for the person who got it second closest for the second certificate. So leave your guesses below. Thanks for watching and for being patient while I got this project done. Talk to you later.